Hello Aries, lovely to see you. August 2020. I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer. Welcome to my channel, list of essential oils and their uses, and welcome to Leo season. Venus is finally going direct, so I thought, well, I'll bring the girls out, get some sparkle on and be a bit of Leo. We need to know what's happening. Now, I've looked at the astrology, and between you and I, it's not easy. And so this is a great time to get allies like the Tongue of the Trees cards, my essential oil oracle cards that I created with Gagle Halodi. These are absolutely magical for helping you to work out what oils will help me best through the season. So let's have a quick shuffle. I'm going to draw you 13 cards, Aries, because we're going to use a spread called the Ring of the Trees. Now, I originally designed this spread to use, believe it or not, on people who were suffering with pain, because these cards are fantastic for spiraling back to the root of a problem, the emotional stuff, because what happens is it bypasses the conscious mind and talks to the unconscious. What's happening to cause all of these problems? Well, we've also found that if I read them forwards through the spiral, I can see how it's going to help us over the next month. So cards, tell me. What do I need for Aries this month? So your first card, I'm going to split you into three. I like threes. 1, 2, 3. That one on top. Your first card is upside down. Mandarin. Beautiful. Number 2. Time. Lovely. What else we got? Number 3 is orange. Loads and beautiful citrus. This is perfect for you. Vetiver. Lovely. 4, 5. Calbanum. One of my favourite oils to come out in these readings. The cedarwood Virginian. I think this is going to be a spectacularly important card, because Leo is sun medicine, and sun medicine is all about conscious thought, conscious decision making. You'll have seen the quotation I put at the beginning about the sun doctor, how he knows how to stay out of hell. The moon doctor, he rides dragons, but you know, this month we don't want to be doing too much moon doctoring. We really don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sandalwood, beautiful. 8 is lemongrass, gorgeous. 9, cypress. 10, cistus. 11, nutmeg. 12, lemon. Contentment. Usually that says how you're feeling when I draw it. Are you feeling very contented? And your outcome card, oh beautiful, rose geranium. And if ever there was a perfect card to come out, because Mercury is going direct, Venus is going direct after all of this retrograde time. So that's all lovely, isn't it? Beauty, money, all of that stuff flowing forwards finally. But Mars is in shadow towards the end of the month, and it's going to create a real tense aspect, not only with the black moon, which I'll talk to you about when I do the reading, but also the stuff that's happening in your 10th house. Saturn's there, Jupiter's there in Capricorn already, Pluto's already there, and now Mars is causing this real tense time. So August is going to be a difficult time for every month, every sign. And so just knowing what cards we've got to help us work forward is extremely helpful. And given that I think there's probably twice as much bad stuff coming for everybody as there is good stuff, to get a card that says equilibrium is perfect. So I'm going to turn the camera around show you the layout, and we'll start working out how we're going to put this together and make some recipes to help you get through this month of August. Hello there, Aries. Right, here's your cards. Let's quickly go through them so you can see where the layout is. So this is number 1, Mandarin playfulness. So number 1, 2 is time, 3, orange positivity, 4 is vetiver grounding, 5 is galbanum sacredness. Next is cedarwood virginian, which is determination, sandalwood meditation, self-realization through lemongrass, transition through cypress, cistus here and now, nutmeg reignition. Last but one is contentment from lemon, and then we have finally equilibrium brought through rose geranium. Now it's interesting because if you look at this, we see there's some ups and there's some downs, which when we look at your horoscope is exactly the same. Look at all the fruit you've got. We start with fruit, we pretty much end with fruit. And if you think that number 12, this is usually where you are now. So playful, contentment. We've got some positivity up here with orange. We've got nice light rose geranium, top notes, top middles really, lemongrass, cypress, thyme, all nice and light, nutmeg. And then to contrast it, we have heavy stuff. We have vetiver, galbanum, cedarwood virginian, sandalwood. And that's exactly what we see in your chart as well. So I think it's very interesting. Almost rather than reading the meanings of the cards, I think we're immediately going into the medicine here. So because the month starts off with Mars going into your first house of Aries, and Aries, of course, your first house is all about I want, I am, I. And when we say that out loud, that seems very selfish. And as an Aries rising person, I feel like sometimes that's my shadow, that, you know, I shouldn't really, as in, you know, I'm the Cancer Aries rising. So that's all about nurturing, but then you come back to I. So we've got that as your main part of your theme anyway, but then it's Mars energy as well and in the first house. So it's definitely going to have this feeling of I want from you. And there's no shadow, or there's no sort of positive side or negative side to any planet's medicine. It just is. So with Aries, what we see is, yes, we have this I am. We see drive, motivation, ambition. But we see aggression. We see problems with the blood. We see issues with the circulation, problems with the heart, although the heart is more Cancer, but your second card that comes is a Cancerian card. So this feels to me, also look at the color of the blood. It shines out more than anything else. So to me, this feels like your blood is absolutely going to be raised. And I think that the problem that we've got is when the Mars goes into that first house, it has a really tense aspect to everything that's happening in Saturn and with Jupiter and Pluto, all in Capricorn in your 10th house. Now let's think about what the 10th house represents. It's work, but it's not the work that we do to make our living. It's our vocation in life. So you might feel like people are not taking what you're doing in life seriously, or the fact that Mandarin comes out. Mandarin's such a really positive card, but let me read you the poem that goes with it in the Tongue of the Trees cards. It says, I remember when you felt Mandarin's energy before. I hardly exist in adulthood now. Remember how you used to snigger in class, how you had to stifle the giggle, let the teacher see, and the more you tried to smile, you could feel the laughter bubbling out. And that's the nice side of the medicine. But in this reading, I almost feel like you are that nasty snigger. you know. And, you know, usually when I look at these readings, I say this is happening to you, but actually I think you're happening to you. And I think the other thing is that Mars also comes into conflict with the black moon, as I said earlier. So the black moon can have many meanings. It's an imaginary thing. There isn't a black moon. But what's coming up is a third new moon in a season of 4 new moons, and that's why we call it a black moon. It's quite rare. It only happens every 33 months. But what happens when we have that is the black moon triggers things. It makes you do stuff you shouldn't, you know. And if you think that it's in conflict with Mars, so that says I'm going to do something that I shouldn't aggressively. And if you think that Saturn is in Capricorn, Saturn quite likes Capricorn, you know, and also it is retrograde, but the retrograde, really, the slow moving planets, they're retrograde for half of the year, so they don't really have that much bearing on whether it's good or bad. If anything, it gives you a bit of a break from when Saturn's moving forward. It's like the teacher leaves the classroom and we're back to that classroom again, isn't it? Like the pressure's off a little bit, and maybe you're overstepping and becoming a bit silly and saying things that you shouldn't, maybe talking behind somebody's back. I do think it's in retaliation to how somebody's made you feel. And I think that's what we're seeing here in the card, with the cards are saying, here, lighten up, girl, lighten up. We've got orange, we've got mandarin, we've got lemon. All of these are about have a party, just kind of just let loose a bit. But then we also have just really calm down now. And this one here, this card comes up such a lot in readings this month. And I do think that it's part of the planetary medicine. It says, who am I? But it's tortured, you know, it's really quite a tortured energy, along with Sisters is quite a tortured energy. So let me just get the poems out, because I think that they have a good bearing on what's going on. So remember that the key word for Galbanum is sacredness, and in that part that means something precious to you, doesn't it? You know, it's deep inside and you hold it dearly. And so maybe this is a skill that you think, well, I'm very proud of this, and how dare you do that to me? How dare you speak like that to me? Because the second that they do, you kind of feel, well, what does that say about me then? Am I not as good as I think I am? Or are you laughing at me behind my back? You know, what is it that you do? What is this playing out as? You've done something to me, and you obviously think it's a really small thing to me, but I feel it's massive. I feel like you're laughing behind my back. I feel like you are talking to your friends and saying, oh, what she thinks she can do, no, it's not as good as they can do. And this isn't just like in your work with filing. This is your vocation. This is what you take. This is what your life is for, you know. So this is a real deep slight. And potentially you're going back to a place where, oh, you've been there before, because this is your planetary medicine that plays out in your chart, whatever your transit is that makes you behave in this manner. It's a go-to trigger, you know. And every time we have similar medicine with the black moon, maybe, if you could look back 33 months, I don't know how easy that would be, you might see, right, okay, well, actually, I'm being triggered in exactly the same way. I don't think there's a single thing on the board here that says Saturn, which would say to me karmic, but everything about it says to me breaking through patterns. So let's have a think. It says, with Galbanum, it says, be still, very, very still, and then inhale me. Watch carefully without eyes and listen without ears. Feel how I speak deeply inside. Sink my deep, heavy molecules right to your core. I speak to the solar plexus, well of self-esteem, of identity, strength and purpose, and intimate knowledge of who I am. I bring stillness from your searching and peaceful moments from the storm. On days when you feel like you're not enough or exhausted to your core, breathe me in deeply. Let me fill you with resolution once more. So if there is that backbiting going on, and I do think that, to be clear, I think the whole planet in August is going to be hostile. I think it's going to be a really, really tense place. Now, whether that comes from the virus, whether we see more riots, whether we see, well, actually, as I record this, Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested yesterday. What's going to come out of that? These things are triggers, and they are rippling right across the planet, aren't they? And I think in August, it's not going to be a nice place. And I have noticed a trend on the other astrologers that they're taking this transit extremely seriously and saying, if you're in a place that you don't feel safe, then please get yourself to safety before we reach this transit, I think that if there's an element of, if there's a crazy person around, if somebody's pushing your buttons, don't rise to it. But I almost feel like you're the crazy person. And I think that the medicine that's behind you is forcing that situation. And potentially this is a culmination of stuff that's been coming to you for the last 6 months. So what are we? August will be 8th month. So since February, really, since just before we started going into lockdown, we started to see patterns. And of course, everybody's patterns are changing in a different way. And I think that time and space where we've been locked away is going to make people, it's questioned people's friendships and relationships. You found out who the ones are that are your friends. And even those who have stayed with you, potentially maybe you have noticed by not being around them so much, you're not missing any of their patterns, their patterns of behaviour that you allowed because you liked them. And so, so as we're starting to come out of this, certainly in the UK, hopefully we started to come out, and the US is starting to feel a bit more freedom, and India, hopefully, goodness me, all those places that are staying in lockdown, as you start to come back to your friends and family, maybe your eyes have been opened to, that's what I loved about you, but actually that's not what I loved about you. And I think there will be triggers then. So I guess what we should look at is, these triggers, are the reflections of ourselves? Are they, why is it so annoying that they do it? Because potentially somebody else is also doing that and it's not winding you up so much. What are you seeing about yourself that's reflected back? And so that's a useful way to use Galbaiman. Remember, it does say it's an intimate knowledge of who I am. Are you seeing that? Are you annoyed by somebody's response to perhaps something that you did, or do you feel you have no part in that? Galbanian might be a really helpful way to get to the crux of that. Let me just see if I can find my piece of paper to Sisters. 1 second. Let's go to my book. I think Sisters, the poem for Sisters says, here and now. There is so much pain and sorrow in the world. Why would you burden yourself for so long? Doubt gnaws at you from inside. You're heartbroken and you worry too much. Demons lurk in the shadows. You feel empty, incapable and vulnerable. Decisions are insurmountable. You yearn for the end to flash back so terrible. Summon the power of Labdanum. I am here to distance you from the past, strengthening faith in the future and cutting ties from memories that hold you back. So I do think we're seeing patterns. I really do. And I think your patterns that are reflected in somebody else's patterns, and they're making you feel uncomfortable. See, I can see as well how I'll be honest, I kind of feel like I'm reading myself here, because as I say, I am Aries rising, and I can see this pattern playing out in me as well. And maybe you look at these people and you say, what it is about me that I allow that? You know, why does that happen to me? And this is an opportunity. I think it's really important that these, you know, the hard stuff is what makes us stronger. I know it's a cliche, but it's the fire that brings rebirth, you know. And actually, we've got quite a lot of cooling energies here. I do think that the fire is going to be hot, and I think that the tempers are going to be off the chart. And look at these. Look, this is deliberate intention, but calming, very, very settling. You know, calm yourself down, calm the negative thoughts. This says be still, settle, be still, walk slowly, walk gently on the earth. This one says be still, be very, very still. This one says be tranquil. I think we've got two things going on here, haven't we? We know, there's no doubt, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that there is volatility around us. We go, right, we will be light-hearted. And in the face of things, we will smile, and we will use this medicine to their faces. We're not talking two-faced. We're talking about this is the face we put to the world. And remember, this isn't forced. This is influencing your mind to be stronger, to know that this is transition time. This is the end of the old life, the beginning of the new. And be clear too that this is your reality. You know, there's no such thing as reality, is there? How are your hormones, for example? If you recognize that feeling of one day everything's upside down, and then the next day you wake up and you think, oh, it's gone, I'm fine today, and then you wake up the third day and it's like, I am back in that place, you know? Well, what changed? What changed in those 3 days? Maybe there was something. Maybe it was your hormones. Maybe it was just your thoughts playing tricks. And so using essential oils in this way is really good at being able to alter reality, because reality is completely a mental construct. So to say, well, actually, today I am light-hearted. I am. I'm very positive. I can be playful. Maybe I can accept your stupid games, your nastiness, your backbiting, and just laugh it off, because I feel more light-hearted about the whole thing. And I feel more contented and also balanced. Balance, that's what we need this month. And then in the quietness, you know, this is the stuff, this is the recipe we take out into the world. Wrong way around. This is the way that the recipe we take out into the world. We wear on our aroma pendant, and this is our light-hearted, as my nan would say, this is putting your hat on to show the world, right? But then in the quietness, we do that work. We go, right, who am I? What am I seeing? We get tranquil. We get determined that we're going to recognise what is going on here. What is going on? If it is me reflected back, and I'm absolutely sure that A, it's you, B, it's the planets, C, this is what you're supposed to learn. Regardless of what's going on, I am going to step gently. This is deep meditation work. And what's interesting then, it doesn't feel very happy stuff, I have to say. But you know, this here, this is, I think we're going to have days and nights. And this is interesting though, because in the middle of this, let's just trace it out for a second. We've got happy, strong, happy, going deep, going deep, going deep, going deep. Self-realization, movement, freedom from the past, reignition. This is a moment where things restart and start to get good, because then we're contentment, equilibrium. And what happens, let me look at my notes of what day. Around about the 21st of the month, I know it's a long way off, Mercury goes into your 5th house, which is your house of glory. It's what makes you happy with the world, excited with the world. And then later, because Mercury moves so quickly, it goes into your 6th house, which is work, but that is your day-to-day work. And I think if you start thinking, right, well, actually, I've learned a lot about myself. And one thing that I have learned is I actually don't like being in this place of work. If you were to start looking for a new job and started to put your CV out, I think it would shine, because look what they're seeing. You're doing the inner work behind closed doors. What they're seeing is when everybody else is in turbulence. Because remember what I said, every will be in turbulence. You are happy, you are light-hearted, you are strong, you are positive, you are creative, you are contented, you are balanced. Absolutely. The world just thinks, blimey, this is so refreshing. Because remember, everybody else is going through it as well. So the person that's picking your CV up goes, thank God for that. Somebody who's not got their head in the doldrums. Because let's be honest, there's a million reasons to have your head in the doldrums. So to be able to rise above it, and remember, and look, actually, look how it's laid out. You have risen above. That is all rising above, isn't it? This is what the world sees. This is the subconscious stuff. Power cards then. In this says, normally we'd say 3 and 7. So being playful, being positive, being meditative. And that would be a lovely, calm, gentle blend. Also, we could say, right, your power cards would be recognizing this end of the old life, beginning of the new, and the determination of making that so, of getting through it, of doing things consciously. And obviously you could not miss that it was Leo season at the beginning of this video, could you? With the girl with all the bits out and the lovely shiny headdress that took hours to make. Well, Leo is consciousness, you know. The sun is conscious energy. It's what, in fact, what I would say to you at the end of this video, scroll right back to the beginning and read what I've written about the Sun Doctor. The Sun Doctor knows how to stay out of places that are troublesome. You know, the Moon Doctor getting involved in your thoughts right now with all of this stuff. It's a bad place to be. Do not put them out there. Be careful with strong decisions at every possible way forward. Use the Sun Doctor. You know, and look at it. Although there's not actually that many cards here that say sun outright, look for the sun. We've got it in the solar plexus medicine, and the yellow there, we've got it in all of the fruits. We've got the flowers coming out. But it's not down here, is it? This is the dark stuff that takes place while nobody's looking. Do it quietly. This is your happy place, right? And no, be prepared for the fact that that argument is probably coming. But with all of this stuff influencing your mind, really, it should be easier to let it just bounce off your back. Definitely. I think one last thing to say, that Venus is in Cancer, which is your 4th house. So that says to me that the family around you are really going to be looking on and saying, I'm really sorry you're going through this. And if you need any money or if you need any support, then they are there. There's lots of Venus stuff going on. Lots of 4th house stuff. So I think Yeah, it's work, it seems to be, but there is lots and lots of support out there for you. So I'm going to put you some blends up. I'm sorry if this has seemed severe and down. I do think it feels that way, but I do think you've got, certainly at the end of the month as well, happy stuff coming. I think this is where we get clever with the oils, you know. These are the kind of blends that we see if somebody's depressed, and so this is strong medicine, definitely strong medicine. And please leave me some comments below and tell me how you found them. Are the oils helping you? And also, don't forget, if you do want to go deeper and you feel like you need some help, there is a link below in the description to get hold of me to be able to help you. But I think, well, you've got strong medicine there. I think you should be okay. But yeah, don't worry if you need me. So hopefully you found that interesting and helpful. If you would like to get your own Tongue of the Trees box of cards, obviously I'd love you to do that. It pays for my work here. I'm going to put a link to my website below, and you'll be able to see where to be able to get those from. And also, if you want to go more deeper into the reading and start to understand the medical astrology and the elements, the Ayurvedic and the traditional Chinese medicine, as well as the chakras and the blending, you might also want to buy the knowledge base that goes with it. The knowledge base is a digital platform. It's like an online set of videos where I talk you through absolutely every aspect of the different essential oils. So there's around about 40 videos. It's a separate purchase, but obviously it's an immediate download if you want to be able to access that. So thank you. If you also want to have your own reading, please do check out my website, thesecrethealer.co.uk, and book yourself an hour-long consultation, and I will do you your own reading. For the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. Say goodbye to the sun goddess, because next month it will be the Melissa, the goddess, the priestess that officiated at Demeter Kaur's festival of the autumn in ancient Greece, the mysteries of Eleusis. See you in Melissa land.
So you get your phone, you turn it this way up, and then there's a little red subscribe button. Turn it grey by clicking it, and then there's a little bell. Click that and press all at the bottom of your phone or tablet or computer. It will say you will receive all notifications. And then there's a little hand with a thumbs up. Click that, it'll turn it blue and it says added to your liked videos. And there will be comments. And if you want to, you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Gergely. And then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So, bye!